Hello gainers, Ralphie here with some fitter philosophy, helping you with your fitness, holistic fitness, by sharing what's helped me be fitter through a little bit of philosophy. And we're not talking about anything academic, we're talking about the practical stuff, the stuff that we get from the simple observation of the world around us. And my subject today is about sunlight, and it's going to conclude with the knights of the Arthurian legends who gathered round the round table, in other words the disc, the sun, you know. Everything's symbolic in fairy tales. They're much more relevant to people's lives than people realise. But we'll start with the sun because unfortunately it's missing today. But there's still enough light coming through the clouds that I can see my way around this forest, this beautiful forest with its toppled trees and a certain amount of folksy charm actually. It's atmospheric. I wouldn't like to be lost here in the night time though, getting chased by witches, that's for sure. And there's certainly a few of them round here. But anyway, let's walk while we talk. Sunlight is important. In the earliest days, humans would look at the sun and it would slowly sink in that the sun was the source of all life. In other words, no sunshine, no life. They'd notice it night time in the darkness that the birds stopped singing. Sure, there was a few nighttime mammals scurrying about, but by and large it was a good time to head off to bed and sleep, and the time to be active, to be alert, to be hunting, gathering and fishing and scavenging and attacking your neighbours was during daylight hours when the sun was there to provide a little bit of light. The light is this disc in the sky. It's responsible for all life as we know it. And we take it for granted in that if it wasn't there, literally all life on the planet would be dead within 1 week. Unless it was subterranean. But how long can one live underground without any form of light? You'd have to ask other species about that. But when we look at the sun, and I don't recommend you look at it with your eyes open, you never do that because you can be blinded. Everything has its limitations. But when we look at the sun indirectly, you see this intense small source of energy that is transmitting radiation, and it is fueling life. It is the fuel of life. That's what light is. It is the purest form of energy, and the purest light is completely invisible and permeates the entire universe, or should I say universes. So it's a big deal. So we're stuck in this planet, we're kind of looking indirectly at the sun, we're fascinated, it makes us feel warm, we see things growing, we see plants and trees and animals responding to not just the fact that sunlight gives us life, but it gives us joy, it gives us a feeling of connectivity with love. Where there is light, there is life. Where there is life, there is love. That is the elemental triptych of many wisdoms around the universe. And we're kind of slow to latch onto it because humanoids tend to be still quite a primitive species, to be honest. Now excuse me, I've reached a muddy bit in the path, so I've got to be careful where I put my feet. Here we go, under the fallen tree. That's better. So, if we close our eyes to look at the sun, it helps significantly because we're not going to blind ourselves, but what we're going to notice is the intense heat, the warmth, that positivity that we get from the sun. And we should be mindful of that the light we get from the sun can be generated with our own positivity within ourselves, and this will put warmth into our own lives. The more positive we are, the more light there is in our lives. The more people see the light in us, the more positively they will respond to us, in the same manner that they respond to sunlight in the sky. It's warming, it's comforting, it gives energy, it gives life. It's a subconscious thing. And this takes me to the Knights of the Round Table, the Arthurian legends, which are far older than people realise. And when you look at the medieval manuscripts and the Renaissance paintings and the Romantic era paintings of the knights, they're always shown in clean, sparkling armour. Because, of course, they looked after themselves. They were shown and demonstrated to be virtuous and worthy, honest, kind, considerate, but also strong and prepared to fight. And it's something which maybe seems a little bit sort of old-fashioned and a little bit cringeworthy, is the word that's often associated with these knights from the Arthurian legends, and that is chivalry. We're not in an age where chivalry is considered much of a virtue, but it should be, because what it encompasses, when you look at it objectively, is creating, nourishing, stimulating and growing the light of life within us, so that we can, like the knights in these paintings that we see in galleries, we seem to have a glow around us. Like the saints and the gurus, spiritual teachers, they tend to have that glow of light coming from them. The painters are aware of it, so they include it on the canvas. And it's there for good reason, because the more we can look at the sun and understand the true purpose of light, the more we can encapsulate it within our own lives to radiate some of that life-giving, love-enhancing life that we get from the sun from ourselves. We can radiate a little bit of that light, like the knights in the olden days who brought order to chaos through principle, decency, objectivity, and the pursuit of the Grail. Now, the Grail legend, I'll talk about that in another video, because there's a lot more to that meets the eye. But essentially it's presented as a chalice, a cup, a trophy of sorts. It is a container. Essentially that's what the Grail is. It is the container which can only be found by those who are chivalrous, virtuous and worthy. And for the simple reason, because they have the light inside to see it when they notice it. And it's a vessel. It's a keeper of a substance. Now, it can be diminished to something as basic as elemental gold, mono-elemental gold, but it's much more than that. It's something that transcends whole different lives, whole different dimensions. But we're only human. But I tell you, one small step in the right direction is one giant leap in the quality of our lives. So I would conclude by saying to you, be chivalrous. Don't think of something as silly and sentimental. The more we can define the positivity and our engagement with life in a positive, light-enhancing, light-giving sense, the more we grow. And the more we grow, the less we fade. Look around you, gainers. Seriously, look around you. When you start to look more carefully, you will see people who are fading in life. They are doesn't matter what they've got, doesn't matter what they've earned, doesn't matter what their status. They are fading. They are fading into the shadows because they are no longer living. They are not living because they choose to exist quite by default, quite without purpose, quite without meaning. And that is a terrible shame. But even more of a shame is if we let it happen to us. I'm Ralphie. Thank you for watching my Fitter Philosophy channel. This video, if you like it, subscribe, tick like, all the bits and pieces, and don't smash the like button. Yeah, that's a bit harsh. Keyboards can be quite expensive, particularly if they're built into laptops, so just give it a little tap. That's quite enough. That should do the job, and I shall now leave you with a very lovely scenic view. See you soon, gainers.